Today's video is sponsored by Dashlane. Hello and welcome to another video, and welcome also from the rooftop garden here at Virgin Atlantic's Clubhouse at Terminal 3 London Heathrow. Today's video really needs no introduction. I'm flying on Virgin Atlantic's brand new A350 1000 in their brand new upper class. Let's go and enjoy the trip. Virgin offers a facility that's so cool at London Heathrow that I just had to take an Uber to try it. It's a private drive-up check-in facility just off to the side of Terminal 3, and it is exclusively for upper class and Delta One passengers. Hiya, thank you. I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Checking any bags?
Just this one, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, thank you. Cheers. This is easily the most exclusive and coolest check-in experience I've ever had. The best part of the experience though is there's a dedicated tunnel to a special upper-class premium security line. There were only 2 people in front of me in the queue, and this really felt like cheating. I'd skipped most of the airport, although I didn't manage to avoid Christmas in November. There are a lot of really good business class lounges in Terminal 3, and the Clubhouse is probably one of the best. It's located at the end of this long staircase above the American Airlines Admirals Club. Inside, the design is stunning. It isn't the biggest lounge, but they've made some great use of the space here. There are even a couple of really cool glass chairs that you can sit in, but use them responsibly, won't you? I've always thought of Virgin as being a very loud and in-your-face company, but the design was surprisingly understated in here. There are even some apron views. One of the more unusual facilities in this lounge is the hair salon, which is in the back corner. There's also a small spa complex here, and reservations for it can be made on the day at the desk. I was able to get myself for £35 a half an hour back, neck and shoulder massage. Not bad given that this is in London. Another thing I just love about the Virgin Clubhouse is the fact that you can dine anywhere in the lounge and there's waiter service. You can order off a menu and they'll bring it to you wherever you're sitting in the lounge. There's no need to go to the formal dining area, although you certainly can, and it's very nice too. Overall, the Virgin Clubhouse was a really pleasant surprise. I could have stayed for much longer. As it was, I only stayed for a couple of hours and got some breakfast and did my filming. If there's one thing I could say I didn't like about this lounge, it was the constant stream of boarding announcements. They even announced them, or tried to, up on the roof terrace, which is really loud. I travel literally hundreds of times a year, and I have hundreds of tickets to buy and hundreds of boarding passes to collect. Dashlane is a great tool which cuts down the time and hassle of filling out those forms and makes the process way more secure. The thing I love most about Dashlane is it manages all your passwords, so you don't need to keep track of each one. Or maybe you have only one password, which isn't that secure. See, Dashlane will suggest and remember super secure complex passwords which are unique to each website. It has a secure autofill feature which remembers all of your personal information, even your passport number if you want, on both desktop and mobile. Filling out any online form becomes a breeze. Even if you don't buy as many tickets as I do, you'll appreciate the security benefits of Dashlane. There's a VPN which stops third parties from spying on your information, whether that's through the Wi-Fi at your local coffee shop or surfing the web in a foreign country. And with the VPN you can access content that would otherwise be blocked. I've teamed up with Dashlane to give my viewers a special offer. So head to dashlane.com/Paul to get Dashlane for free on your first device. And then when you decide you want Dashlane on all your devices, use my code PAUL for 10% off a yearly subscription, and never waste time remembering a password again. Boarding was from one of the Virgin Atlantic gates furthest from the clubhouse, but I didn't really mind too much. This happens to be one of the better gates for getting a glimpse of your aircraft prior to departure. Virgin's A350s are all brand new, and so they carry the most up-to-date Virgin Atlantic livery with the large billboard font. Our aircraft today is nicknamed Mamma Mia. If there's one thing I don't understand about the new livery, it's why they removed the Union flag from the winglet. It's now just got a Virgin logo. It's strange because Virgin talk all the time about being Britain's second flag carrier. And to that end, they actually bought Flybe recently and rebranded it Virgin Connect. On boarding, I was really impressed with the ambience of the Virgin Atlantic cabin. Upper class, or business class, occupies the entire forward cabin of this A350-1000. Virgin's current seat in their A330, 747, A340 and 787 aircraft is notorious because every seat faces away from the window. That's not the case here. This is a reverse herringbone configuration, giving everyone direct aisle access, and the window seats face towards the window. The cabin, by the way, is great. The overhead lockers on this A350 are much larger than on most predecessor aircraft. Top tip, the ones by the window are much bigger than the ones over the centre aisle. I really love the choice of textures and patterns in this upper class cabin. It gives the entire space a really classy feel. If there is one thing I would point out, it's that some of the finishes don't appear to be of the highest quality, and it will be interesting to see how this seat wears in the years to come. I was sat in seat 11A, that's the last seat in this cabin, and it's directly next to the loft, which is at door 2. We'll have a look at that a little bit later on in the flight.
Champagne orange juice water for you.
I'll get a champagne.
There we go. No problem at all.
Thank you very much. Let's go to New York. One of the first things I noticed about this seat is that there are individual air vents above every seat, which is not that common in business class. There's also a good amount of storage in this seat, far more than the old one. There are also multiple options for charging. There's a universal power outlet down by the sidewall and another which is in the storage unit just to the side of your seat. This armrest must be stowed for takeoff but can be placed up afterwards. It also provides another little cubby to store some of your belongings. Now, one of the really big selling points of this seat is that Virgin touted these privacy screens, which are supposed to provide additional privacy. But as you can see here from the location of my eyes, it doesn't actually provide any additional privacy. So I'm afraid I have to mark this down as a bit of a gimmick. Still, it provides a handy place to prop that nice big pillow up against to make your seat even more comfortable. Row 11 is technically missing a window, but even if that window was there, it wouldn't really matter. Unfortunately, the design of this seat means that the console is placed between the seat and the window. On most seats where there are two windows, this actually fully obstructs the window, as you can see here, and it makes pushing the blind down really awkward. The in-flight entertainment screen is in high definition and pops out and slides back into its place really nicely. It's a great mechanism and does feel very sturdy. However, there is one more design flaw I should point out with this seat, and to be fair to Virgin, it's something they are addressing with a matter of urgency. Now, this table is one of the worst designed airline tables I've ever seen. It's simply too big and positioned far too close to the passenger. Now, I am not the largest person that's going to be taking Virgin upper class this year, and I have to say that it was almost infringing on my personal space. You only have to be slightly larger than me for this sharp edge to be pressed right into your belly, and that's not a good thing. Virgin like to think of themselves as a socially and environmentally conscious company, and to this end, the amenity kit, or goodie bag as they call it here, is made from sustainable materials, as are in fact all of the contents. Something I'd noticed Virgin trialling is the ability to order food and drink from the in-flight entertainment. I did try this a couple of times during the flight, and unfortunately the facility wasn't enabled. One thing that did work, however, was the ability to pair the in-flight entertainment with your mobile device. That effectively means that I could use my mobile phone as the in-flight entertainment remote control. That's pretty cool. I was really pleased to see that Virgin had gone to the additional expense of installing external cameras on their A350s. There's nothing cooler than a tail cam or a belly cam, especially when you're coming into land. Finally, the in-flight entertainment selection was very, very good indeed, as you would expect from any large airline. These are the headphones for the in-flight entertainment, and the envelope they're wrapped in is actually for charity donations. You can give some small change in foreign coins at the end of the flight. In addition to the IFE, there's also Wi-Fi on board. The messaging option is really cheap, and there are some various bundles, including a full flight option, which I was really pleased to see. By the way, the forward lavatory on the A350 features a loo with a view, which is becoming much more common in new aircraft. There's even a full-length shade in here. By the way, when I left this lavatory, I actually left the shade open, and when I came back at the end, somebody had closed it again. I mean, who's going to be looking in? All of this talk about the new aircraft and new seat aside, the biggest asset that Virgin have are their crew, and they were fantastic. The food service was also very good indeed. Something, however, I was very surprised to notice is that the menu is actually exactly the same as the one I had a few months prior on my Manchester to New York flight on the 747 with Virgin. I'm a fairly predictable man when it comes to my menu choices, but I thought for the sake of the content, I'd change things up here and see what the rest of the menu was like. The prawns were really tasty, and in fact better than the cumin cauliflower that I'd had on the Manchester flight. For the main, I went for the salmon, which was a light option considering I'd had a breakfast in the lounge, and for the dessert, well, I couldn't really help but have the raspberry sponge again. This was fantastic on the Manchester flight, and it was fantastic again. This was in fact only my second ever flight with Virgin, so I'd be interested to know from some Virgin Atlantic regulars in the comments section, how often do you come across an identical menu when you're travelling transatlantically? Does it happen often? After the lunch service had finished, the mood lights came down. This orange and pink combination is really attractive and helped remind my body that it's a good idea to get a nap. This is something I tend to do religiously on transatlantic flights. Unlike Virgin's old seats, these ones can be reclined fully flat using electric power. There's no need to get a crew member to do this for you, which is great. The bedding and mattress topper are also super comfortable, and I had a really solid 2 hours of sleep here. After I woke, I checked out the loft, which was right behind my seat 11A. Now, this is an area by the second set of doors, which is effectively a communal area for passengers in upper class to gather and perhaps talk and socialise. You can comfortably seat about half a dozen people here, but I didn't see it used during the flight, not at least when I was awake. The second meal on this flight is the quintessentially British concept of afternoon tea, the patisseries for which are provided by celebrity patissier Eric Langlard. This beetroot wrap was absolutely delicious and really set off the colour on my plate. There's only one other airline which takes afternoon tea even remotely seriously, and that's British Airways. I'm afraid, BA, that Virgin have really knocked your socks off here. This yuzu and passion fruit macaron was absolutely delicious, so sharp and fantastically tasty. As we passed over Cape Cod, I had a look out of the window, and behold what a wonderful afternoon it was on the eastern United States. Way different to the miserable grey that we'd left behind in London. So, to sum up my experience of Virgin Atlantic's A350 upper class. This product is miles ahead of the product that it replaced, and that is a good thing. However, this is not some sort of massive revolution in passenger experience or passenger comfort. What it is an extremely competitive business class on a crowded transatlantic market, and for that Virgin should be applauded. With their soft product and the wonderful lounge they have at Heathrow and elsewhere on the network, I'm confident that Virgin are a really strong option. The next video on this channel will focus on British Airways' new A350 Club World suites, and I don't want to give away too much of a clue as to which one I think is better. You'll have to wait for that video. But that's enough of the spoilers. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to visit dashlane.com/Paul to get Dashlane for free on your first device. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you in the next video.